I really enjoyed it at first. I realized it just didn't really fit my personality. Started to pick up on was the growth trajectory was pretty prescribed for that type of organization and career. I'm very driven and very motivated, and yeah, it just kind of seemed like no matter how hard I worked, it'd be difficult to progress quickly through the organization.
So I'm Samir, CEO of Tech Sales Mentors. With me today, I have Miles, who just crushed it through the program, is an incredible competitor, and runs a cool sprint club in Austin too, if anyone's interested, the Track Rat Sprint Club.
Yeah.
Um, but before we chat about your success in the program, all that kind of stuff, let's backtrack, right? Let's talk about before Tech Sales Mentors. Could you give a background on a little bit about you and what you were doing?
Sure. Yeah, I'd love to jump into that. So I work for a public accounting consulting firm in the Oracle Cloud space, and I was in that role for over 3 years at this point. And while I really enjoyed it at first, I realized it just didn't really fit my personality. Started to pick up on was the growth trajectory was pretty prescribed for that type of organization and career. I'm very driven and very motivated, and yeah, it just kind of seemed like no matter how hard I worked, it'd be difficult to progress quickly through the organization.
Yeah. Yeah, and that can be frustrating because sometimes when you're at a huge organization, you feel this like safety, right? Of like, oh, like I know if I do this, like I have a very predictable path.
Hmm.
And there's comfort in that, right? You're de-risking a little bit.
Hmm.
But sometimes when you know you're like a top performer and naturally you know you're going to crush it, like the biggest risk isn't de-risking and protecting your downside. It's actually how much like you're capping your
Yeah.
potential,
Hmm.
right? And so when it came to like you figured that out, then like how did tech sales like come into the ether for you?
Yeah, so it was an easy decision industry wise. I really enjoy technology just because it can do so many cool things. And being in that software consulting space, I had a good idea. That's where I wanted to stay. And um, also, when I was kind of having a heart to heart with myself, I realized I wanted to be less technical. And again, like I said, I do enjoy like technology. I think it can do a lot of cool things. So I was looking for a career where I could still highlight those really cool things that a product could do, but at a higher level, and not have to deal with the potential bugs or insane client requirements for the build out. And yeah, just so that was one piece, and then two, the merit based performance that sales offers was a draw for me too. Granted, it can be a little more volatile income wise, just depending on I would say like if you have a good quarter or not. But again, I mean, I'm in my late 20s. I don't have any kids. I'm single, so yeah, I was willing to take a risk and yeah, pursue this new career path.
Yeah. And how did it find its way into your life, like tech sales as an idea?
I would say I have a circle here in Austin who are very more so like in the tech space. A couple of them work for startups. One of them is a partner at a tech VC company, or yeah, and one works for Microsoft. So, and I didn't even like think about this when I first moved to Austin, but my circle here is very tech heavy, and they kind of pushed me toward exploring that career path versus your traditional big old school consulting firm.
Yeah.
And I just see how much they enjoy their careers, and it seems like for me it's a little more exciting, like being in kind of like the startup tech space,
Yeah.
just because you get to be a part of something that hasn't been around for too long and is disrupting the industry.
Yeah, yeah. And that's, the cliche quote of you're the average of the five people you surround yourself by,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
this is exactly why it's so important. Because if you weren't surrounded by them, this idea of technology sales, like maybe you would have discovered it at some point, but it wouldn't have been normalized for you, right? Or you wouldn't have people who you look up to being like, yeah, dude, like you need to do this, right? And so that can be so important sometimes to give you the
absolutely.
confidence to do it.
Hmm.
And yeah, one thing you said earlier regarding like being in a technical role where you're like not necessarily, yeah, I guess it's a form of an account management role where you're helping them adopt the
Yes.
product and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Hmm.
It sounds really it sounds really important, and it is important, but then you see over time like the way the organization values that role versus the person who brings on the customer, you're like,
Exactly.
oh,
Exactly. Yeah.
oh, okay, this is where the value accrues. And
Yeah.
so now, like, learning sales is teachable. Like, anyone can learn it, people from all different backgrounds doing it. Now you're going to learn the skill where, you're going to be able to make way more money.
Mhm.
And, yeah, at times it's going to be volatile, but overall, like in the aggregate, you're going to make more. So it's like, making, let's say you make 200K over 2 quarters
Mhm.
versus if you make 100K over a year in the account management
Yeah.
role, right?
Yeah. Literally.
And
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
yeah. So then let's talk about like you decided you wanted to do tech sales. Like, did you think about doing that alone, like the job search, or how did TSM come into play for you?
Yeah. I started off alone. Thinking back to the fall, I had a month where I just grinded out applications, and within a month, I submitted over like just over 100 applications, and out of those 100, I got I got two interviews. I got two interviews and one offer. And uh, yeah, it was a little frustrating because I looked at my resume and I was like, I mean, Oracle's a pretty dominant product in the marketplace. I'm at an established, sorry, one sec. I'm at an established firm. Oh my God.
You're good.
I try to mute
Oh,
my
teams coming in.
computer.
We'll
Sorry.
get you on Slack soon enough. Don't worry.
All right, it'll hopefully stop ringing here in a sec.
You're
I
good.
have to lock my computer. Sorry about that. Where was I?
So you did 100 apps. You got two interviews. One
Yes, yeah, that's
was
right. That's right.
frustrating. Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, looking at my resume, I was like, I feel like I'm in a good product. Like Oracle Cloud seems like it's pretty established, pretty well known firm, and I've been at the firm for 3 years, so I feel like I had gotten a lot of good experience. So yeah, it was frustrating to like see that low conversion rate, and yeah, it was kind of going through my mind like what's going on, what's going wrong. I had been hearing rumors of a tough job market, so part of me wanted to chalk it up to that as well. So that's how I found tech
And to
sales.
clarify really quickly there, because
Yeah.
people might hear like, "Oh, you got an offer," so like it sounds like it worked out, but maybe that's not how you viewed it.
Oh, correct. Yeah. So the offer I got was another Oracle consulting gig at a different firm, and originally I was super excited for that new opportunity, but the more I thought about it, I was like, oh, I'm sure I'll be super excited for the first 6 months, let's say. working with a new team,
Yeah.
but I took a step back and realized, oh, I mean, I'm going to be doing the same thing that I am at my current company, and that excitement is gonna deteriorate pretty quickly.
Yeah. Like a new girlfriend with the same toxic traits.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, so then it sounds like you weren't, you were applying, you weren't getting maybe tech sales interviews. You were hearing about a tough job market. You thought that may have been the reason. You joined Tech Sales Mentors, or you came across Tech Sales Mentors. Were there any hesitations like before you joined?
Yeah, absolutely. And we kind of talked about that originally. I had some hesitations because again, I mean it's a it was a new career for me, or it's going to be a new career for me, and like anything new, like I think you always have hesitations when you don't fully understand like the big picture, or if there's like a lack of information there. Um, but you gave me some homework to do, to kind of give me allow me to learn more about the industry and the career path, and then once I had a better picture of kind of what the tech sales career offered, I was much more enthusiastic about it.
Yeah. Yeah, and for anyone watching, that's, if you go to our YouTube, it's called like Tech Sales 101, right? That'll give you a rundown. Any hesitation? So like it sounds like you got the information you needed. At the end of the day, though, like you still don't know everything. Like you still have to like make a decision, right? With imperfect information. And you decided. Outside of that, when it came to Tech Sales Mentors, any hesitations about joining our program and working with us versus doing the job search alone?
Um, yeah, also I think the hesitation for me was the price. I think, um, because again, it was kind of one of those things where I don't know if I wanted to take this risk, and like thinking about the price tag was something I was yeah, concerned about, to be frank. With that being me expecting to most likely make less income to start, because I mean SDR is an entry level role, and I'm already making pretty decent money right now. But to your point, and you kind of mentioned it earlier, an account manager is making around 100K per year, which is good money. But then I sat back and said, okay, let's think about 5 years in the future. I think that little, I also, so one thing about 5 years in the future where your income and career will be. Two, I also kind of changed my frame of mind to make the price seem a little more palatable. And I thought of it as an investment in myself. Um, I kind of do like stock market investing on the side. And that kind of helped me like make it more palatable. Is that, oh, this is just an investment in myself. Like I went to college, so
Yeah.
I spent all that money on a college degree. So what was some more money to help set myself up for a more long term career.
Yeah. Yeah, there's this weird flip that like switches after college where like when we were at 18, we dedicated, let's say, 50 to 100 grand to 4 years of schooling to a career that we don't even know anything about, like at 18 years old,
Yeah,
right? They
yeah.
don't even like really, I mean, sure, they help with getting the job, but they really don't. Um, and then after college, we switched to this mindset of the investments we make now are in stocks. But really, like, and again, this sounds corny, but the most important investment still at this age is yourself, right? Investing in your own skill development because, not to go too deep down the rabbit hole, but stocks in the stock market, they help you make more money off your existing money. But if you're not making enough money, then like it's only making so much of a difference, right?
Right. Exactly.
And so that reframe I think is important, is still thinking like I need to invest in my own skills, put myself on a high paying career path. And one thing to also note is like, for instance, like let's say the SDR comp, it can be in the, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120 range. But that's just if you hit 100% of your quota, right?
Right.
Like I've seen reps where they have a 90K role, but they take home 120 that year. Because they're in an environment now where they've been top performers and now they get paid for being top performers because they're
Right.
crushing the quota.
Right.
So keep that in mind too in your role. In your role.
Yeah. Good point.
Uh,
That's a really good point.
yeah. And so let's talk more about the program now. Like, what were some of the biggest differences or biggest changes that happened on the job search for you?
Uh, I was overwhelmed with the amount of interviews that I had to prepare for. I quickly saw the value in my investment, like within, I mean, there's a little like onboarding stuff that happens the first week. So yeah, I'll just say 2 weeks in, it was like, okay, like this is a legit program. Um, couldn't be happier with that upfront investment I made. Um, and yeah, just the volume of conversion rate and yeah, the interviews I was getting, because that was my thing too. Um, I was like, if I can like get an interview, I feel like I can do well and like move on to the next round. But pre TSM, I wasn't getting any interviews. So in the TSM program, um, yeah, we started with a resume and LinkedIn review. My LinkedIn looked pretty good already, so no major changes there. And then yeah, we set up the resume to highlight my skills that would fit for a sales role that I had already developed. We just needed to change the wording. The biggest value for me was the interview prep and coaching that me and Laura did. It did get to a point where toward the end of the program, uh, not need her probably isn't the right term, but she did such a great job at coaching me, and I had gotten so many reps at each interview round that I felt super confident with just going into those interviews, just like practicing on my own and kind of crushing it live with that interviewer. Um, yeah, I think peak I probably had like 4 to 6 interviews per week,
Yeah.
with a lot of great companies.
Yeah. That's awesome. And so one thing you said, which I hear often, right? Like, I'm a good communicator, right? Like, I feel like if I get in the interviews, like, I'll be good, right? Then you said you got in the program and you said the interview prep and coaching was one of the most valuable things. So help me understand both of those things.
Sure. Yeah. So I think, yeah, to you guys gave questions to help me like know what was coming. We also really honed in my interview answers, and I think where um, the extra value came in for you guys was I had all this great experience that I could speak to, um, but my original wording pre TSM was not as polished. So I think looking back, maybe I wasn't as great at interviewing as I thought I was, and I just needed that final tweak to really help me stand out in the interview process.
Yeah, because I think like you had all the ingredients, right? But then now we need to mold this to tech sales specifically,
Exactly.
right? Because I'm sure, like, if you got a recruiter interview or anything, like, you'd be able to pass that with flying colors. It's when
Absolutely.
you get to the later stages, the SDR manager, the director of sales, maybe a VP.
Mhm.
That's when the bar gets way higher. The standard they are measuring you against gets way higher, and that's when they grill you, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's where the interview prep and coaching can come. And I like what you said. By the end, you didn't need your coach. That's the goal of the program. It's not
Mhm.
to make you reliant on us. It's to give you a framework, not just so you can get a job now, but now any future job you want in the
Yeah.
future, you know you can come back to what you learned here and apply it
Absolutely.
to those future roles as well.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about it. Like, what were your results from the program? And yeah, what did that all look like for you?
Yeah, so like right before the holidays, I think I had like five final round interviews, um,
Yeah,
which was kind of insane to prep all of those final because I think they're all like the same within like the same week too.
yeah,
Um, I can't remember the exact number of like total companies I interviewed with. I think it was probably like 10 to 15.
yeah,
And um, yeah, I was able to get to the final round in five of those. And some of the other ones where I didn't get to the final round, um, they were just later in the timeline than like
You already decided at that point. Is that what you're
correct.
saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Correct. I had already decided, and yeah, the point those other companies were at, they were like not in the final round stage yet, like round two, let's say, for example, or like
Yeah,
early round ones. But yeah, I mean the conversion rate that I saw, because of like the great coaching at TSM, I think those ones that I were still outstanding that I had, they were still outstanding. I think I would have done fine and still converted those into final rounds. Um, Out of those five final rounds, I got two offers, both from great companies. One was Closing Lock, and they're like a Series B startup, and
yeah,
then the other one is Rippling, um, which I'm very excited about. I've heard a lot of great things
yeah,
about that company. Um, and the other final round I really wanted was MongoDB. They're great organization too, but yeah, did not get an offer from them. But from what I've heard, kind of talking with Laura, is that they're pretty that bar that they judge you on is high. So
yeah,
she gave me a lot of kudos for making it to the final round too. It's a
yeah, yeah.
competitive company to get into.
Yeah, I wouldn't beat yourself up too much. This will be your, motivator for the future as well. Where
Yeah, right.
a year later, it'll be like, yeah, Mongo, you should have taken me. Look how I'm
Yeah,
crushing.
yeah.
So tell me more. Like, you ended up accepting Rippling. Like, what excited you about that offer, the opportunity, the company?
So one of my biggest criteria for choosing a company was the product. So Rippling's been a rocket ship over the past couple years. They've seen a lot of growth. So I mean, clearly they have a product that works, but also their product is very similar to what I implemented at Oracle.
Mm,
So
yeah,
I think that's really going to help me grow quick at this company, just because I have a familiarity with the product type and the business process within those product offerings. So I think with my more technical experience in Oracle, I think I'll be able to connect with their ideal client type easier than I would have with a Mongo or Closing Lock. Um, Another thing that stood out to me with Rippling was how they retain talent. I've been at my company that I'm leaving for a little over 3 years, so I'm not one to like bounce around every year or two. So that was important to me as well. Just a high internal retention and promoting internally as well. Because I don't want to. I would always tell interviewers I don't want to be an SDR for forever. So stalking LinkedIn's and seeing that people at Rippling have been promoted internally was a draw for me as well.
Yeah. Yeah, that is so important. It's not just about focusing on what is the entry level salary in this role. The more important question is, hey, which company can I actually get promoted at, right? Because it's not the same at every company. And to be honest, that's like, making 80, 90, 100K years cool. Actually, no, I'll take the social network quote, which is, making $1 million isn't cool. It's cool, $1 billion, right? So same concept here, not the same level, but the SDR salary is not the cool part, right? The AE salary after that, that's when your life starts to really change in terms of whatever you want to do, new crib, new savings, like whatever. That's what you want to focus on for sure. One thing I want to backtrack on really quickly is you mentioned you were overwhelmed by the amount of interviews. Some people may hear that and be like, yeah, okay, like maybe tech sales mentors, like I should wait until like life is more chill and I have the time that I can prioritize it, all that kind of stuff. Like I heard the Teams notification, like you're still on your job.
Correct.
Like, how did you prioritize your time to effectively do this and not come up with an excuse of like, let me do this a quarter later, like, and how'd you do it now?
Yeah, I mean, to be totally frank, my productivity at my current job fell. Because to be honest, I was already on my way out mentally, and I knew from your numbers that I was gonna have a job lined up in at least 60 days. So yeah, again, yeah, to your point, yeah, I just kind of I started putting less effort into my day job, because yeah, I just knew I wanted to make this career change and really focus on those interviews.
Yeah, I think that's the brutal truth, right? We all have the same amount of hours. Something needs to be cut back on if you're going to create time for this. So I'm blanking on his name, but I think it's Monish Prabrai. He is considered the Warren Buffett of India.
Yeah, I'm familiar. Yeah.
Okay, nice. And so before he became an investor or a business owner, one of the two, he was working a day job and he was doing this on the side, right? What he really wanted to do. And he was an A-plus performer at his job. So he said, this is what I did. He said, I went down to the level of performance that is right above where I'd get fired, right? So like if I went down any lower in terms of my performance, then I would have been fired. But I went right above that line.
Yeah.
So like I think what that means is like if you're an A-plus performer at work, they're not going to fire you if you go down to being a B-plus performer. But if you go down to a C-plus, like yeah, then you're at risk. So yeah, like that's what I've seen every candidate who's succeeded in our program is they ease off on the gas a little bit at work or on social activities or whatever, because if you're serious about making a transition, do you really expect to do it without making any sacrifice, right?
Right. Absolutely. Yeah.
So last question for you. If someone's still watching this, they're in the same shoes as you 40, 50, 60 days ago, they're feeling on the fence about joining the program, the investment, so on and so forth, like what would you say to them?
Yeah, I mean, I'll keep it simple. Like I'd wish I'd done this sooner. And granted, there was some uncertainty in my career path, uncertainty in what my future career path I wanted to have was. So I think that played a little bit into the delay. But yeah, not only was the program great, but you called it out earlier. Like I've learned so many skills that are gonna they're gonna help me throughout the rest of my career when I do want to jump into that next role. And just seeing it and like being in the midst of all of those interviews and seeing all those outreach emails go out. Yeah, I just know the formula at this point, and like that's invaluable. Like that's gonna set me up to make like 10x, 50x of what I make now. I'm just like throwing numbers out, but
Yeah.
um,
The
and
seven
also
figure
like
W2 years, they're coming. They're coming. Yeah.
yeah, and then like help like grow my career, just like role wise and not solely monetary.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, I appreciate your time, Miles. This was one of my favorite interviews I've done in a little bit. And so the reason why is because you're the type of person with the personality that is meant to succeed and do really great things. And it was just you weren't in the opportunity that would enable that. Now, like now you are, right? And so now is where your career can really see some like really explosive growth. And now it's just on you to focus on the inputs and process, and all of that stuff will come, right?
Right. Hmm.
So I'm rooting for you. I'll see you at Sprint Club this Sunday.
Awesome.
And for anyone watching, like you want to connect with Miles, I'll leave his LinkedIn below. And then if anyone's interested in seeing the same success as Miles, joining a great tech company, I'll leave a link to Tech Sales Mentors. You can see if you qualify to work with us.